Hello everyone, my name is Soumya Agarwal and I welcome you all in this TCube Gate classes initiative. So this is the second lecture of module number 3 and we will continue from the first lecture that we have seen is annealing and normalizing in the heat treatment process. So in this lecture we will discuss about quenching process, tempering process and some of the surface hardening process. Okay, so let's crack the gate. So what is quenching? Okay, so in the quenching method what we have to do that we have to increase the strength or increase the hardness. Okay, so in order to make the steel or the eutectoid steel or any kind of steel to be having more wear resistance property. Okay, so what is the aim behind this? That is to increase the wear resistive properties. And how you increase the wear resistive properties? By making it hard and by increasing the strength. Okay, ultimate strength or yield strength. Okay, so one of the prerequisite for hardening is that there should be sufficient carbon content. Okay, so like for if you will have very less carbon content, as in case of low carbon steel where the carbon content is less than 0.2% or 0.25%. Okay, so if will be no carbon, so how that carbon will change the shape? Okay, so how it will become a cementite kind of thing or martensite kind of thing. Okay, so you require the carbon content so that you may get the martensitic transformation. Okay, so over here you can see that we convert austenite to martensite. So in order for any steel to convert from austenite to martensite phase, what you require is the some amount of carbon. Okay, so to harden by quenching, a metal must be heated into the austenitic phase. Okay, so we are talking about steel over here, and then it has to be quickly cooled. So quickly cooled, which means you have high cooling rate. Okay, so you can say that the cooling rate is more than the critical cooling rate of the steel. So in the previous lecture we have studied about the various type of CCR. Okay, various type of cooling rate. So like cooling rate we have seen somewhat like this, which is this is temperature. This over here is temperature. Okay, and this is temperature and this is time over here. Okay, so we got somewhat like this was the nose of this transformation curve. Okay, and if we see particular different kinds of, this is cooling rate. So different types of cooling curve. So this one like if you move from A to Z. Okay, so like if you are moving from A to Z, we can say that we are increasing the cooling rate. Okay, so if the cooling rate if the curve of the cooling rate is tangent to this nose of this transformation curve. Okay, so that kind of cooling rate is known as critical cooling rate. So in order to produce martensite, the cooling rate has to be more than the CCR, which means it has to lies in this region. Okay, so that cooling rate should be like in this region away from the nose. Okay, near to your Z. So what are the cooling mediums? So we have oil, we have water, we have brine solution. So brine solution is nothing but water plus NaCl. Okay, water plus salty water you can say. Then coming to the tempering process. Okay, so tempering is this is basically our aim is to make the material more ductile. Or you can say that you have to increase the toughness value. So you have to increase the toughness. So how you will increase the toughness or how you will make the material more ductile? So it is carried out. Okay, so this process is carried out by preheating the previously quenched or normalized steel. Okay, note down that normalized steel and quenched steel both has high strength. Okay, so since they have high strength, so their ductility will be very low. Okay, so you need to preheat these quenched and normalized steel to a temperature below than the lower critical temperature. Okay, so like you have to cool it approximately 500 degrees Celsius or 600 degrees Celsius. Okay, and not more than that. and you have to hold it for 1-2 hours, and then you have to cool it in the air. Okay, so cooling is the air cooling. So this is, you can say, like you require it for diffusion. Okay, like proper we can say proper, we can say homogenization of temperature. Okay, so like temperature should be uniform throughout the metal. Okay, metal block. Okay, like it should be same for core also, it should be same for the surface also. Okay, core, which means if you have some metal block, so the temperature it should be equal at the center point, and it should be equal at the surface also. Okay, so this tempering, this will reduce the brittleness of the quench steel that just we have see just. Okay, and this is again it improves the toughness but reduces the strength of the steel. Anyhow, we know that ductility is inversely proportional to the strength. Now, so increase the ductility, so decrease the strength. Okay, so if you increase the ductility, so what you will increase, you will also increase toughness also. Okay, so you will increase the toughness. So iron carbon diagram, in the iron carbon diagram, the area under the curve will be more, okay, before the failure in case of a ductile material. Then we can classify the tempering process based on the temperatures. So if the tempering temperature is between 150 degrees Celsius to 250 degrees Celsius, then we will call this tempering process as low temperature tempering. And if the temperature is between 300 to 450 degrees Celsius, then we call this as medium temperature tempering. And if it is temperature is between 500 to 650 degrees Celsius, just below the eutectoid temperature, okay, then that kind of tempering is known as high temperature tempering. Okay, and now we have some special type of heat treatment process. First is Oss tempering process and Marr tempering process. Okay, we have added here tempering over here, but this doesn't mean that this is the classification of tempering process. Okay, so Oss tempering and Marr tempering are not a type of a tempering process. They are a special type of heat treatment process. Okay, so they involve different things. Okay, this is just not tempering process. Okay, so if it is added the name tempering, which it doesn't mean that it is one of the tempering process. Okay, so do not get confused with the just addition of this tempering over here. Okay, so it is an isothermal heat treatment process. We are talking about the Oss tempering. Okay, so which produce the bainitic structure in the plain carbon steel. So from Oss tempering you get the final product is bainite structure. Okay, bainitic kind of structure. So what you do in this, like steel is first heated to the austenitic temperature. Okay, like you have to convert the phase in the steel totally to the austenite phase. Okay, and then you have to quench it in the molten salt bath at a temperature above the MS temperature of the steel. Okay, so this is MS temperature, which means, okay, martensitic start temperature. Okay, martensitic start temperature, which means approximately martensitic start temperature is approximately like 220 to 230 degrees Celsius. Okay, for a eutectoid steel composition. Okay, so you have to like when you are quenching, okay, so when you are quenching with the molten salt bath, you have to see that temperature should not fall below this like 500 degrees Celsius. Okay, so the temperature after the quenching, it should be above the martensitic start temperature. और कितना above होना चाहिए? So like it should be some 200 to 250 degrees Celsius above the martensitic start temperature. Okay, so like near about 500 degrees Celsius. So and then you have to, what you have to do is hold the steel at this temperature to allow the austenite to bainite transformation to takes place. Okay, so now you have to hold now you have to do is isothermal kind of thing you have to do. Okay, isothermal kind of heat treatment. So you have to hold the temperature such that all the phases present, all the austenite phase present in the steel convert into completely into the bainitic structure. Okay, and then afterwards you can cool it to the room temperature. Okay, that is air cooling you will do. So what is this MS start? As this is the time temperature diagram. that we have seen in the iron carbon diagram and all those things in the previous lectures. Okay, so this is the nose of this transformation curve. Okay, and above the nose what you get is the pearlite, and below the nose what you get is the bainite. Okay, so like you have to first heat it above this eutectoid temperature, which is approximately like 727 degrees Celsius. So you have to heat it above. So okay, so like you will do somewhat heating or like this. Okay, so you will heat this, and then you have to cool it approximately this 500 degrees Celsius, because this is MS start temperature. So you have to when you are doing the cooling, it should be done above the Martensitic start temperature. Okay, and then you have to hold this for some period of time, such that this austenite present at this point, let's say at point 1, it will convert completely to the bainitic structure. Okay, bainitic structure it should convert, and then afterwards you have to cool it down. Okay, somewhat cooling you have to do, not exactly this cooling. Okay, like this much cooling will be done, and then below this room temperature it will come. So this is somewhat is what your Aus tempering process. Okay, so we can see in the coming diagram also. So okay, this is over here, this is over here, we can say this is 727 degrees Celsius, this dotted line eutectoid temperature. So you are heating above the eutectoid temperature. Okay, and then you are making this over here. So over this, you can see over here we have like two kinds of diagram we can see. Okay, so this one, above one is your we can say above one is this one is surface, and this one is core. Okay, so this belongs to core, and this cooling rate belongs to the surface. So like you have, okay, you have like some block of the metal in the shape of circular shape. Okay, so like this, at this point, at the center point, it will have like different temperature. At the center point the temperature will be different, and at the surface the temperature will be different. Okay, so their cooling curve will also be different. Okay, so at the core the cooling curve will be like slow cooling curve. Okay, this is slow cooling rate. Now you can say this is slower, and this is faster. So this is on the surface is being like in contact with the ambient air. Okay, so ambient air se contact mein hai, so it will have like high convection rate will be there, so high cooling rate you can say. So for surface we have faster cooling rate, and core it is surrounded with its own material, okay, which is at high temperature, so the cooling rate will be slower. Okay, so like you have to cool this above the Martensitic start temperature with approximately you can say 500 degrees Celsius. Okay, and then you have to hold this temperature. At this temperature you have to hold this, and this holding will continue till the austenite completely transforms into the bainite. Okay, and then afterwards you will do a regular cooling till the room temperature. Okay, so like this you will do. So what is the advantage of this Aus tempering like kind of thing? So like you will get less cracks which you get from quenching and all. Okay, so less crack and distortion you can say. So why less distortion, less crack? Because at this point the core and the surface temperature are equal. Okay, so like you gave the proper time to transform from austenite to bainite. Okay, so at this point the temperature of core and surface is equal, so we can say there is no thermal distortion, so cracks will be less. Okay, and since you are getting a final product is the bainite, okay, bainite product is bainitic structure you are getting at the final. Okay, so which is more ductile and tough comparatively what you get from the quenching. Okay, so you can see this is not exactly tempering also, because tempering we do heating below the eutectoid temperature, and in the case of this Aus tempering we are doing the heating above the eutectoid temperature. Okay, so this is not sort of tempering process, this is altogether a new kind of process. Okay, so just we have written the name as Aus tempering. Okay, and the next is the Mar tempering process. Okay, so people have like discussed and given the name Mar tempering, Mar quenching also. So okay, why the name Mar quenching, we'll see. Okay, so like if you heard, so if you read somewhere instead of Mar tempering you read some process named Mar quenching also, so these both are same only. Okay, so do not get confused. Mar tempering usually also known as Mar quenching process. Okay, so what you do, it is similar kind of Aus tempering, but again there are some smaller difference. Okay, so you have to heat the steel to the austenitic temperature again above the 727 degrees Celsius. Okay, austenitic temperature, so which means you have to heat it above 727 degrees Celsius. Okay, and then you have to quench it again in the molten salt bath at a temperature just slightly above the martensitic start temperature. Okay, so like martensitic start temperature is approximately 230 degrees Celsius. So you have to heat it about 350 degrees Celsius. Okay, so like the cooling that you are doing in the molten salt bath. Okay, so you have to do it till the temperature is reached around 350 degrees Celsius. Okay, so in Aus tempering the temperature was little bit higher, 500 degrees Celsius. In Mar tempering the temperature is little bit lower, which is 350 degrees Celsius. Okay, or 320 degrees Celsius, whatever. Okay, so like 100 plus 100 degree plus from this martensitic start temperature. Okay, so now hold the steel in the quenching medium until the temperature is uniform. Okay, again similar thing, that you have to hold it till the temperature is uniform, which means the core temperature and the surface temperature should be near about equal. Okay, but in this case you have to stop this quenching before the austenite to bainite transformation begins. Okay, so you will not allow austenite to bainitic transformation. You have to stop this quenching before this kind of transformation takes place. Okay, and then you have to cool at the moderate rate to the room temperature. Okay, so afterwards when you cool it, what you get product is the martensite. Okay, you get martensite iron. Okay, so now this martensite iron is not usable, as I told you, because it has very high brittleness. Okay, so this has to be again little bit tempered by the conventional treatment, conventional tempering process, I mean to say. Okay, so what you get over here is final product is tempered martensite. Okay, so you get the tempered martensite by this tempering process. So this is the schematic of the this Mar tempering, or you can say Mar quenching. Okay, so this one is the surface and this one is the center. As I already told you that center will have slower cooling rate. Okay, it will have slower cooling rate, and surface will have faster cooling rate. Okay, so and this is your eutectoid temperature AE1. This is nothing but 727 degrees Celsius. So like you will heat the steel above this eutectoid temperature. Okay, so that all the phases present in the steel is the austenite phase, and then afterwards you will cool it in the molten salt bath. Okay, so you can say cooling medium in this case is your molten salt bath. Okay, so to get this molten salt bath is a bit difficult thing. Okay, so this is one of the limitations for Mar tempering and Aus tempering, that you have to get molten salt bath. Okay, so oil is oil, water, or you can say brine solution is easy to get. Okay, but molten salt bath is difficult to procure or to get from the market. Okay, so or to like make this molten salt bath by your own self. Okay, so it is bit difficult compared to oil and water. Okay, so this is one of the limitations. So now you have to cool this, and the cooling should be done just above this martensitic start temperature, which is approximately 350 degrees Celsius. Okay, and then afterwards you will do this like you will hold the temperature till the surface temperature and the center temperature becomes equal. Okay, at this point where the surface temperature and center temperature has become equal, but you will not allow it to transform into bainite, है ना. You do not have to allow it to transform into bainite. यहाँ पे आपका क्या है, bainite है. So you will not allow this particular you can say steel transformation steel to transform into the bainite. Okay, then afterwards you will cool this. So when you are cooling this, you can see now this is our austenite. Okay, so completely austenite, and then it is going to transform below this martensitic start temperature, and it will completely transform into martensite, okay, at this point. So now what you have to do is, again you have to do the tempering process, such that the final temperature, final product that you get is the tempered martensite, okay. So this is what we are doing over here. So in this mar tempering, again we do, because we want the temperature for we can say core and the this surface to be equal, okay, so that you get less cracks and less distortion, and the strength from mar tempering will be more than what you get is from the os tempering, okay, because tempered martensite, again it is having good hardness and good strength compared to the bainitic kind of structure, okay. So this is what is mar tempering and os tempering. So you can see, since you are getting the martensite, okay, like after doing this all this thing, you are getting the final product as a martensite. So because of this, the mar tempering process is given the name the mar quenching process, okay, because this is not sort of tempering process where you get softer material. By doing this mar tempering, you are getting martensitic kind of thing, okay, so which is you can say come under the quenching sort of thing. So people prefer it, the name to be the mar quenching also, okay. So next we have surface hardening kind of heat treatment. This is the last topic for today's lecture. So surface hardening is a process by which the steel is given a hard or wear resistant surface while retaining the ductile interior, okay. So which means softer core and harder surface, okay. So harder surface, which means 10 to 20 mm thickness tak aapko, you will get like up to 10 to 20 mm thickness, you will get good hardness, you can say good wear resistant layer, okay, and below and the inside core it will be bit softer, okay. So this is just surface hardening, okay. So unlike the quenching and normalizing process, surface hardening process is done to just get the hard surface layer, okay. So need to do this surface hardening is to improve the wear resistance of the surface, to improve the fracture toughness, and to improve the fatigue resistance, okay. So just all these three things you have to do. So surface hardening techniques, this can be classified into two major categories. So first one is, we can say that processes that change the chemical composition of the surface, okay. So the surface hardening technique which change the chemical composition by addition of either carbon or nitrogen, so that kind of process is known as case hardening process, okay. That kind of surface hardening process is known as case hardening process. And in the process which do not change the surface chemical composition, okay. So there is no changes in the chemical composition, so that kind of process is known as selective surface hardening, okay. So we see both of them. So further you can classify this case hardening process into three types. First is carburizing, then we have nitriding, and then we have cyaniding. So cyaniding is a combination of carburizing and nitriding kind of thing, okay. So what we can do in this carburizing, so this is the hardening process in which the carbon is introduced into the surface layer of the steel, okay. So स्टील के लेयर के ऊपर में व्हाट यू डू इज यू डिफ्यूज द कार्बन, ओके. सो आप कार्बन को डिफ्यूज करते हैं स्टील के लेयर पे. सो हाउ यू डिफ्यूज इट, okay. So if a piece of the low carbon steel is placed in the carbon saturated atmosphere at an elevated temperature, okay, so above austenitic temperature, so carburizing process approximately takes place from 900 to 950 degree Celsius, okay. 900 to 950 डिग्री सेल्सियस पर आपका कार्बोराइजिंग प्रोसेस होता है. So at this temperature the carbon atoms will diffuse or penetrate into the steel, okay. So what you have to do, you have to take the low carbon steel or the medium carbon steel, and what you have to do is you have to put into the high carbon atmosphere, okay, high carbon potential atmosphere. So like you have to put it in the carbonaceous environment, like you have to put in the either in the methane kind of atmosphere, okay, or there may be some charcoal or charcoal kind of atmosphere is there. Okay, so like in vicinity you have a charcoal and all those things, and you heat this steel above the eutectoid temperature, and there will be some sort of reaction will takes place. Okay, and that reaction it will convert Fe into FeC. Okay, FeC, which means the carbon is totally diffused in the on the above layer of the iron. Okay, so then steel is then tempered to get the desired hardness. So if you get like high hardness, then you can reduce with the tempering, following with tempering process. Okay, so carburizing, again it can be classified as the pack carburizing, where the carbon source is charcoal and the barium carbonate. Okay, so like you have BaCO3 over here. Okay, so it will convert into BaO and CO2, and then CO2 it will convert into carbon monoxide. Okay, so it will convert into carbon monoxide kind of thing. Okay, so carbon monoxide में ऐसा convert करेगा, and then this carbon monoxide it will then it will then diffuse the carbon into the this iron. Okay, so from this carbon monoxide the carbon will be diffused into the surface of the iron. Okay, and then we have this carburizing, gas carburizing, we have methane and ethane. So there will be in gas carburizing, like this will be completely packed over here, and totally packing will be done. Okay, and then you have some like block, iron block, and this over here is like CH4 and all, and methane and all. So at high temperature, this CH4, this will like diffuse the carbon into this carbon block, this iron block. Okay, so this is totally packed and insulated, and within this you are putting the iron block, and then you have, which is surrounded by this methane gas, and at high temperature this methane gas will diffuse the carbon in this iron block. Okay, and then we have this molten salt bath. Okay, so which is NaCN plus BaCO3. Okay, so this will be a liquid bath. Again, this liquid bath, when at high temperature, it will diffuse the carbon into the your iron block. Okay, so this is what you do in the carburizing. So you diffuse the carbon on the surface of the iron block. Okay, so in night riding, this is the steel piece is heated in the furnace above the 500 to 570 degrees Celsius. Okay, like in between 500 to 575 degrees Celsius, and at the same time it is exposed to the ammonia gas. Okay, so why it has to expose? Because then you can diffuse the nitrogen from the ammonia gas into the surface of the iron block. Okay, so due to the reaction, due to this heating, what will happen? The ammonia will decompose into the hydrogen and the nitrogen. Okay, and this nitrogen, it will react with the element to form nitrides in the outer layer of the steel, providing the high hardness and the wear resistance. Okay, so like what you are doing, you are diffusing in the nitriding process, you are diffusing the nitrogen. Okay, in form of nitrides. Okay, so now you are diffusing the nitrogen on just the surface layer of the iron block. Okay, so when it become a nitride, so kind of a ceramic kind of a thing, so it will have high hardness and wear resistance. Okay, high hardness and good wear resistance. And in cyaniding, so like you diffuse both carbon and nitrogen into the surface layer of the steel. Okay, so in this case the steel is heated in the liquid cyanide bath. So liquid cyanide bath consists of NaCN, Na2CO3 and NaCl. Okay, like this three different combination is there, and then it is first it is heated at this in this molten salt bath. Okay, molten cyanide bath, and then it will quench. Okay, quenching will be done either with the help of brine solution, water or oil. So similar kind of things is happening in carburizing, nitriding and cyaniding. In carbonizing you diffuse the carbon. Okay, in nitriding you diffuse the nitrogen. In cyaniding you diffuse both carbon and the nitrogen. Okay, so next is the selective surface hardening process. Okay, we had 2 2 times I have written this hardening. Okay, so now this kind of hardening process is done for like large parts, for very large parts. So like you have to do, you do not have to quench completely. You have to do not have to quench the part completely. Like you have to quench it only some small portion of the that iron part. Okay, iron part of the steel part. So it is like very big hulls are there. Like in case of a ship construction, so you require the parts are very big in nature. Okay, so very big in size. So you will not put all the completely that part into some kind of heating bath or heating furnace. Okay, so what you have to do is just somewhat on if the part is like so much of big, okay, big in size, like you can say a human is over here. Okay, so this is the human size and this is the part size over here. So how you will take all this part and put into the furnace. Okay, so this over here is human size, you can say, and this over here is the part size you can say, and this is the human size. You can see the part size is so much bigger compared to human. Even if maybe part size may be a little bit smaller compared to this one also, but just this is a sort of a general kind of thing. Okay, so you cannot take this part and put it into some kind of a furnace. Okay, so taking and taking them and doing them is very impractical thing. Okay, and very, it requires too much of cost. Okay, you will be having cranes and all, big cranes, and it will just pull them from here and it will put some at some other place. Okay, so what you will do, like you have to do the quenching only this much layer. Okay, like you may have to do the quenching at this much of layer, or you may have to do the quenching of only this much of layer. Okay, so you will not do this quenching or this surface treatment for the whole part. So since you are doing the quenching only for this portion of this part, so you require such kind of things that you just take those equipment and you can just do some kind of surface hardening kind of process could be done on this process at the particular site only. Okay, so like the operator will take this surface hardening equipment and it will go to that shipbuilding site, and he will just do this surface hardening process on this particular part. Okay, so like you will not take the part to the furnace, but you will take the equipment and operator to the part. Okay, so this is why we are doing this selective hardness. Okay, so please read. The parts to be heat treated are so large that to make the conventional furnace heating and quenching is impractical and uneconomical. Okay, so since only a small section or the area of parts needs to be heat treated. Okay, so in this we have like two kinds of hardening process. One is flame hardening, another is the induction hardening. Okay, so in this flame hardening, what you do, you have this combustible gas flame. Okay, oxyacetylene torch है आपके पास में. So that is the source of the heat. So what you have to do is with this gas flame, you will increase the temperature above the austenite temperature, which is your austenizing temperature, 727 degrees Celsius. So like above 727 degrees Celsius, you will heat that particular portion of that your block. Okay, and then you will do the rapid water quenching will be done in order to transform the structure into the martensitic structure. Okay, so you will heat with the help of this oxyacetylene torch. You will heat the portion above the austenite temperature. Okay, and then you will do the quenching in the water in order to convert into the martensite structure. Okay, so the flame hardening process is suitable for plain carbon steel with the carbon content not more than 0.6%. Okay, so over here we have written over not more than, which means suitable for low and medium carbon steel, you can say. Okay, low and medium carbon steel के लिए this is very much suitable. Okay, not for the high carbon steel, for just low and medium carbon steel. So this is the regular schematic which I have taken from Google. Okay, so over here this is your oxyacetylene torch, and with this help of flame you are hardening the surface. Okay, and then within this oxyacetylene torch, either there may be some kind of different pipe is there, okay, which is sending this water over here. Okay, so like a water jet will be there. So first you will heat with the help of flame, then it will followed by the quenching, and this will like continue, and there is no there is no much gap over here, like this is continuing from this process. So this much zone has already been hardened. Okay, so the quenching will follow this heating process. Okay, so continuously it is following. So like you are just like both this flame torch and this quench tube, it will follow together, okay, in a series format. So like this you will do the process of flame hardening. And next is the induction hardening. So in induction hardening, you heat, okay, heat by induction, okay, heat by the induction. So you can say that an electric current is induced in the workpiece to produce the heating effect. So like you have like induction, like we can say electric induction you have. So induction cooktop you have in your kitchen, okay, where you cook, where you put your induction cookers and induction pans and all those things as a replacement with the regular your flame cylinder and all those things in the kitchen. So similar kind of thing will be done over here. So in this the steel, it will be placed inside this induction coil, or you can say a copper coil. Okay, so it will be placed inside the copper coil, and to this copper coil the current will be passed, and due to this passing of the current, there will be we can say magnetic field. Okay, generation of magnetic field will takes place. Okay, generation of magnetic field will takes place, and due to this magnetic field, there will be some sort of eddy and hysteresis losses. Okay, hysteresis losses. Okay, and due to this eddy and hysteresis losses, there will be production of heat. Okay, and with this heat, you will and applying this heat, you have to heat this steel above the austenizing temperature. Okay, and then after the heating, you have to do is place the steel piece into the water bath. Okay, and you have to do the quenching. Okay, so I'll show a little bit of one small video that I have downloaded. Okay, just let me show you. Okay, so you can see this kind of induction hardening what is taking place. Okay, so this over here, this is your steel block. Okay, and it is placed within this copper coil, and the current is being passed to this copper coil. Okay, and then okay, so see, you can see heating is there. Okay, you can see this reddish, okay, red hot steel you can see. Okay, and there is a, you can say, jet of water is quenching this heated steel also. Okay, so you are not heating the complete steel, so you are heating only the you can say a part of a steel block. Okay, this is part of this steel cylinder, so you are not heating completely, you are doing only the portion of the you can say selective heating you are doing. Okay, so this due to this induction hardening, you get only portion of the portion of this steel part will be surface hardened. Okay, so this is what I want to show you. I hope some kind of understanding you got with this induction hardening video. Okay, so I'll wrap up my lecture today. Okay, I hope you got understanding of all kind of heat treatment process, whether it is annealing process, normalizing, quenching and tempering. So with this lecture I have finished the module number 3 also. Okay, so we'll start module number 4 in the upcoming lecture. Till then, have a good day. Thank you.